All right. What is up, everyone? And welcome to the Random Encounter Podcast, episode 72. I'm your host, James, and I'm joined by Mr. Bryant himself.
Go Pack Go.
I was going to say, did they win? They were playing against Dallas, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they kicked their butt, as it were.
I mean, you can always assume Dallas is going to lose.
And the fanboy himself, Phaneckswhy. How you doing, fan?
What up, what up? I'm doing good, doing good.
I see you got that One Piece Luffy shirt.
Yep.
And wow, you got...
Christmas present!
Nice. And then Bryant's got, what is that, like Link? Looks like...
Yeah, it's it's Tears of the Kingdom.
That's pretty cool. Where'd you get that at?
Oh, is that the like under?
Yeah, that's the what do you call it?
The Malice or whatever it is. No, it's called something
Yeah,
else in that game.
What's the underground called? Why can't I think of it right now? The
I don't know.
What's it called? Underground. Okay, anyway. Yeah, I think I got it from TheYeti.com. That's where I get like all my gaming shirts is from TheYeti.com.
Okay, gotcha. I thought they have what I think Mega Man shirts right now or something like that.
I already bought both of them. They're so awesome.
Yeah, I gotta look at them because I saw Warrior 64 posted. They got some cool shirts that they show up every now and then. Yeah, but anyways, a little bit off topic there.
My gaming shirts are totally worth a tangent. Absolutely.
I have a few shirts, but they're not gaming. Usually the shirts that I get are like more anime based. But I got a few, like I got Zelda shirts, and I have like the Majora's Mask hat as well, as you can see.
Dude, I used to get so much gaming stuff because I used to subscribe to Loot Crate, and then I stopped doing that because it started getting
too expensive.
Yeah.
Yep, kind of like everything. But we got quite a few things to talk about. I don't know if it's going to take the whole podcast, but if it doesn't take the whole podcast, we do got a special game to play before we end the podcast, which would be pretty fun there. But as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're sitting at 592 subscribers. So big boost we got this past week. Appreciate everybody that subscribed. We're trying to hit that 600 subscriber number. So close, so close. I just realized I didn't update the number on the widget there, but yeah, 592. Just need 8 more to hit that 600 subscriber count. So yeah, definitely share the channel, helps out a lot trying to hit that goal, and hopefully by March, the goal is by March to hit 1,000 subscribers. So close. I think we can do it. Just almost 408 subscribers to go, so it's doable in my opinion. And also follow on Twitch. We are live on Twitch as well. That we do Twitch all the time. I talk about more on YouTube. Anyways, breaking news happened this week, and it's actually very exciting news. Golden Sun and Golden Sun The Lost Age is coming to Nintendo Switch Online for Game Boy Advance. I am super hyped. Has everybody here played Golden Sun or no?
Yeah, I played it. Oh, go ahead, fan.
Well, I didn't play it originally, but I got back into it when the Steam Deck came out because I was playing on an emulation station.
Nice. What about you, Brian?
Yeah, I played it. I bought it when it came out, just because I was just so entranced by the graphics. Like I just remember thinking it looked so incredible, like to have a 3D, well, kind of 3D looking RPG as far as like at least the battle scenes.
Yeah.
I remember the music being great. It was just really interesting and fresh feeling. I never finished it or anything, but what I played I really liked. So I'm definitely excited to get another crack at playing these RPGs. I already went on eBay and I bought that DS game for like $45 brand new and sealed, so I'll be all caught up now.
Yeah, that one is not as good as the GBA.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which one did you buy? What game did you buy?
Golden Sun
Dark Dawn.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yep. And yeah, it's not as good, unfortunately. It was kind of a letdown.
It's not bad though, is it?
I wouldn't say it's not bad. It's
okay.
I'm trying to think
Just
of a
not
game.
As good.
It's not bad, but it's not good. It's like I'm trying to think of a game. If you like, I'm trying to think because I think you liked Final Fantasy 13 compared to a lot of other games. What's like your
loved 13?
I'm trying to think. All right, in my head, all right, 13 was not my favorite Final Fantasy, right? Definitely not.
Yeah.
But it was still good, right? It was still I still enjoyed it, right? And I still played it. It was like that. To me, that game is that same way. That it's like, wow, this could have been a lot better. You'll ride through it and get through it, but you're like, this definitely could have been a lot better overall. So that's how I feel like that game is. But the first two are definitely like
A class.
Yeah, they're they're S class, like S tier, right?
S class.
They're
Okay.
very very high end. My favorite thing about the games was how you beat part one, right? Have you played both, Fan, or do you care about spoilers at all? Or
No.
I
okay,
care about spoilers.
have you played both? You played both of them or no?
No, I haven't played either of them, but I
Or
don't want to do spoilers
oh,
when
I
I
thought you
play.
said you did beat them. You said you bought the first one, but you
No,
didn't
no, I
beat it.
haven't. I haven't beaten them. No, I
Oh,
No,
played like a
okay.
no,
little bit
no.
of
He
the
said he
first one.
played the first one, but he never beat it. And he
Oh,
says what
okay.
he
I
has
thought he
played,
did. Okay.
he enjoyed it.
Um. Well, shoot. Then I can't really talk about it. But there's something cool.
Sorry.
Well, I guess it's not really spoilers because it's in the trailer. Did you watch the trailer? And it's
No.
in the box art too. Have you seen the box art?
Uh, yeah, you can talk about the box art, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the characters, right? There's two different main characters of each game. And when I played it, I did not know that, because part of me was like I just bypassed the box art. I was like, oh, cool, Golden Sun 2. Let me play this. And you start playing the second game, you're like, wait a minute, these are not the characters from the first game. Like, or some of them are from the first game, but you're like, it's not the same team that you play as in the first game. And that was a cool concept because most games, especially their sequels, you're a totally different cast. Or it's like years in the future or something like that. Or it's like Final Fantasy where it's just, a different world or something like that. But this was a true tie-in to that, and it leaves off at the end of the first game, which I thought was pretty cool.
So it's a direct sequel.
Yeah, so like a direct sequel, like where the first game actually ends, that literally is where that picks up, which is kind of cool. And there's a lot of like context there. And the other piece, I won't spoil it because the ending of the second game is amazing, in my opinion. Like some of the stuff that happens there, you're like, oh wow, this is amazing. It's a GBA game, so don't get wow factor of like any like AAA game, but it's still kind of cool what they did. And I can't think of another game that did this. Yeah, I don't think of any other game that did what they did at the end of Golden Sun 2. So hopefully you guys will play it. Very good
I'm
game.
going to.
Fun fact, I just found this out today. Have you guys ever played Shining Force?
No.
So
Not originally because
Mhm.
I mean, it was on Genesis and stuff like
Genesis.
that.
Yep.
But I did play the ROM when the Steam Deck came out because I
Yeah.
got back into playing old school retro games.
Yeah. So I did not know because when I was looking for a thumbnail, I was trying to find official art of Golden Sun.
Uh-huh.
And I went upon, where'd I go? I think it was Camelot's own website. And it showed every game they developed. I did not know they developed all the Shining Force games.
Oh, okay.
But
Oh.
now that I put two and two together, it's like it makes sense because they're the only one that uses that angled like battle camera. So like when you look at you're in a battle, it's like over the shoulder, so you see them, but they're at an angle, and it's like you see their backs and they're facing like a certain way, and you can see the enemies in front of you. Shining Force does the same thing. It's at an angle, and then you kind of attack up front, which is kind of cool. And Dragon Quest 3 remake is using that same battle camera, which is an angle that no other game has really used. You're either like in front of you or you have that rotating camera, right? Or you're like fully behind them, but it's never at like a weird like I don't know what would angle would that be? Like it's just
Isometric?
it's not isometric, right? So like
Are you talking about like the old school Dragon Quest games, like how it's like behind the character or whatever?
no, not like that, because Dragon Quest is more like you're in front of the character, right?
Oh, that's
Because
true.
you're seeing through their eyes, and you can only see the monster. But this is at an angle. So if you look up, like, if you type in a screenshot of Golden Sun, like battle,
Like
it's like, yeah, like instead
like
of
over
like,
the shoulder, but at like a 45 degree.
correct, yeah, there we
Yeah.
go. And I think that's pretty cool because you don't really see that in turn-based RPGs. Again, it's
Yeah.
you're either like straight behind, or like sideways, like Final Fantasy Pixel remasters, right? It's like side by side, stuff like that. You don't get that 45-degree angle in games. But yeah, and what you said, graphically speaking, amazing. I like the puzzles in the game. Being able to use like the powers in the overworld is also very cool. There's not too many games I can think of that actually do that. And the music, I think it's some of Motoi Sakuraba's better music overall, because some of his music is
What
very
is he known
singing.
for?
Tales of. He does the Tales
Oh,
of
okay.
music. He does Dark Souls and Elden Ring music, which is you would never know, but it's the same guy. He does Star Ocean music. If you ever played any of the Star Ocean games, the Valkyrie Profile music.
Okay. He's got a nice resume.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good music. There's some other games that he's done. The Dark Souls is what tripped me out because I was like, well, this dude did Dark Souls. Like it sounds nothing like his Tales of Arise music or his Tales of any of those songs.
So he's very multifaceted. Like
He is. There was a thing that you can tell the projects he doesn't care about, because when he doesn't care about a project, it sounds exactly like all his songs sound the same, and it's a very annoying reoccurring theme, and I hated it. Like I hated it with a passion. And then when Tales of Arise came out, because all the Tales of music was becoming the same and very annoying. Then Tales of Arise came up, he changed it up. I was like, wow, like this is him in his prime. Again, the Dark Souls and the Elden Ring music is him caring. It's all different. But then you play like Tales of Vesperia and then play Tales of Xillia and Tales of Berseria, you're like, everything sounds exactly the same. Like I don't know if I'm in a battle or not. Like if these guys weren't, if I wasn't on the battle screen and the UI didn't pop up, you wouldn't even know because all the music sounds the same. A good way to find out is play Star Ocean, the Divine Force. Yeah, it's not his best soundtrack. But yeah, Golden Sun coming out this Tuesday. Definitely download it. Definitely play it so that we could get another proper Golden Sun and they can stop making Camelot just do Mario Golf, because that's all they've been doing.
Yeah, and I haven't liked a Mario Golf game really since the N64 one,
Mhm.
and I like the Game Boy Color one too, but that's pretty much it.
Was the Game Boy Color one that's the RPG?
Yes.
Okay.
I think the one on Game Boy Advance did it too, but I don't know. The Game Boy Color one just has a special place in my heart.
Yeah. Game Boy, a lot of Game Boy stuff has special place in my heart too. Like Mario Land. People hate the very first Mario Land. I think it's amazing. Like,
Oh, it's amazing for the time,
yeah.
absolutely.
It's, the fireballs, they just like
Mhm.
bounce
They're
everywhere.
bouncy ball. I think they're
Yeah.
like bouncy balls.
They're more
Yeah.
bouncy balls than that. Yeah, which is kind
Yeah.
of cool. PlayStation has announced an exclusive called Sun and Bone. Thanks for fan for bringing that up. It looks like it's Torok. Like it definitely looks like Torok a lot,
or like
and
Dino Crisis.
I would say less like Dino Crisis
Yeah.
because it's definitely Torok. I know Game Informer, they compared it to Dino Crisis. Like, yeah, I don't know. Dino Crisis is more like Resident Evil with dinosaurs, where this is like a first person. You're shooting dinosaurs and stuff like that. They have like jungle scenery. They have all these other like scenery. So it reminds me a lot of Torok. And I'm kind of excited to actually see where this goes because I did enjoy the first two Torok games. I thought they were pretty cool games on N64. Very
Oh
different.
yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely play this if it's any good.
Yeah, I watched the trailer and it looked interesting.
Mm-hmm. Have you heard about this, Brian, at all?
No, I haven't. I haven't checked it out yet. No.
Yeah, you should take a look at the trailers. Called Sun and Bone. It's a PlayStation exclusive, so only coming to PlayStation, which kind of sucks, but is what it is. And yeah, if it's as good as Torok was, or better rather, better controls and everything, I think I would play it. There's just something special about the first Torok though, being you start off with that bow and everything, and the dinosaurs getting you, and I was always freaked
I
out.
just remember with that, like you had to control the movement with the
Mhm.
C buttons, and then you had to it was different for sure.
Yeah, those were the days of first person games.
Without
N64
having a
controller
joystick.
Yeah,
was so weird for its time.
it was. I do
I mean,
wonder.
I understand their thought process and why they did it, but it just does not make sense.
Yeah, yeah, it could be like in my head. It's just like they weren't. How can I put it?
But
They,
the reason why they like put the D-pad off in the analog stick in the middle was like when you play a game that requires just a D-pad, you can play it like a retro. So that's
yeah,
why they had the three things. But then when you want to do more modern games that uses analog, which it's not really an analog stick, but it's because it's whatever. But you move your hand to the middle, like. But most of the games weren't really like they still use both D-pad and analog, so like you still had to
yeah,
like kind of weird transition your hand back and forth,
yeah. I want to say there was few games that
yeah,
I ever used the D-pad for.
like
Um,
on its own.
yeah, I think Pokemon Puzzle League was like the only one,
Yeah.
and that's because you're moving on the TV and
Mischief
playing.
Makers. Didn't Mischief Makers use the D-pad or no?
I've never played that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean it's Nintendo. Like like they add features
Mhm.
assuming they're gonna like utilize it,
Yeah.
and then they rarely do. Just like
HD or not
HD
HD,
The
Rumble,
IR
IR
sensor.
IR
Blaster.
blaster.
Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, that's Sun and Bone. I don't think they have an announcement, release date yet. So just be on the lookout for that if you like Torok for sure. A little bit of sadder news. I believe it's different. As was it? Is it SAG AFTRA, right? That's how it's pronounced, or is it SAG AFTRA? Like the Writers Guild, Screen Guild, whatever. Well, whatever they are, they signed a deal to be able to use AI voices in gaming. And to me, I'm just like, what the heck? So I usually don't like to cover news like this because I'm like, I'll let everybody else fight about it, and we stick to that topic. But this is something in particular because AI is becoming pretty central to gaming and just the world in general. We've seen stuff like Nvidia, AMD, which we'll talk about later, that's pushing AI in their CPUs and GPUs. Microsoft has been big on AI. If you have a Windows machine, Copilot's a big thing around Windows 11, and even phones and stuff like that are getting into AI. But there's been controversy about voice acting and reusing voices with AI. One of the more notable voices, James Earl Jones, right, who's known for like Darth Vader and amongst other things, but Darth Vader's one of his biggest
Mufasa.
roles. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mufasa is another one. He signed a deal with Lucasfilms to use his voice as AI. So in Star Wars Obi-Wan, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that was not actually him, but that was actually AI. They did the voice there. But yeah, he signed a deal so they can use his voice for that, and that I understand. Like he's doing it because he's going to retire. He is pretty old now, and it makes sense for things like that. But just to use AI voices to save on cost, I feel like that's a thing that we have to worry about. What do you guys think about all of this?
I guess it depends on, like if the person whose voice is based off signs off on it, then I
Yeah,
guess it's fine. I'm assuming he's probably going to get some type of royalties, like
yeah, he
how
is.
licensing fees and stuff like that, which is okay. Um, it's different when like the creator or the source doesn't get any recognition for it whatsoever, right? That's going to be the thing, because a lot of artists were getting upset when AI art was coming around,
Yeah,
and it's like in the art style of blah blah blah, and they're like, this is my unique art style. This AI computer is trained on these images and it's creating art based on my stuff, but I'm not making, not getting any type of revenue for it when other people are selling it and whatnot.
yeah,
So it's a very fine line, and I mean, as long as they're okay with it, and as long as they're still making some type of money on it, then it's fine. But there's gonna have to be some laws and stuff put in place just to make sure there's protections on both ends. Like I just read on the new Prince of Persia game, one of the characters is all text to speech, digital.
really.
Not even a voice actor. One of the characters is all text to speech.
Hmm, that's interesting.
I know. I
I
saw
did
that. I
not
was
know
like, what the heck? Like,
that.
how? Like, so they just pick one character and use the a digital voice model, typed it out, and it's just text to speech. So I'm like, eh, as long as whoever's voice that's based on is getting paid for at least some of that, then
Yeah.
you know.
What about you, Bryant? What do you think?
Honestly, I don't feel qualified enough to really have too much of an opinion on it because I
Mhm.
don't know like the positives of it for developers
Mhm.
um, or like the companies that publish things or whatever. I don't know like what the upside is or the downside.
Yeah.
I do know that I'm for art that's created by humans to be performed and written and all that stuff by humans. And I think that art, if you take away the humanity of it, then you're just left straight up with a product that is strictly for consuming. And I just think that when it's something that is made by people, there's just an extra degree of appreciation there that you're just not going to get from a computer spitting out stuff. So, um, generally speaking, I definitely think that if something like the James Earl Jones situation comes around, like where he's getting older and he wants to make sure that his voice and his legacy lives on or whatever, like that's totally great if you agree to that. But if you're just going to get shoehorned into this to get your stuff, your performances stolen or whatever, or taken from you, just so a company can save a buck from having to hire you, like that's kind of crappy.
Yeah. There was controversy with the latest Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections game. And it was the actors. A lot of the lines sounded weird. and they were comparing like the line to like Ultimate Ninja Storm Forward versus Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections, and the voice actors were saying like, I never said the line that way. Like there's, they're like, I remember doing this and that was not how I said the line. And a lot of people were thinking that they just use AI, that they had them say all these lines and then they just had AI create, different lines. But according to them, it was like a glitch or something when they were doing audio editing. It didn't come out right, and they did fix it eventually. They did add in like the voices of how it should be sounded like, or how it should sound like. But yeah, it was kind of off and it was kind of weird, and that's why people were assuming it was AI because it sounded like no emotion, but it sounded also like the voice actors completely. If that makes sense. And these are voice actors who are known for those characters in the Naruto series. So yeah, it's like you're gonna know because you've heard them for you know generations, right? Like you've heard them
Right.
for over 10 years. We're going, well, 20 years actually, because I think Naruto came out like in 2003 or something like that. So like almost 20 years you've heard those voices, and yeah, like to expect not to know, yeah, you're gonna know.
Wonder if there's a weird like they were saying a glitch with
Mhm.
the equalizer of how it was like changing some of the pitch of the audio
It
in the
could be,
file.
but it's like
Yeah.
the difference of saying like I'm not going to lose versus I'm not going to lose, like, or something like that, right? It was kind of a big difference. You're like, yeah, Kakashi doesn't sound like that, or Naruto doesn't say things like that.
Hmm.
So I mean, it could be. I don't know. I'm not an audio engineer, so maybe, but to my knowledge, I don't think and equalizing the voice will have a difference also in your tone. But I could be wrong. I definitely could be wrong. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the industry does with that. I'm in the opinion of, and of course these opinions are my own, right? Doesn't affect Fan or Brian or anybody else who comes on the podcast. I'm in the stretch of like, if you did this with the actors, movie actors, and writers, you were able to work out a deal to kind of like resist AI there, but you were all okay for the video game industry to use AI. I just think that's kind of not cool in my opinion. I just don't think like you should have done that, but we'll wait and see. I know a lot of voice actors are not pleased with that. I've seen it was a
Yeah, there's been a
funny,
lot of posts on Twitter.
yep, what's his name? His little skit, what's his name? Why can't I think of his name now? Ben Starr. Ben Starr's little
Mm.
skit. I'm not sure. Did you see his little skit on that?
I saw a post, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah, it was funny because he was like saying I'm an AI, and like it'll cut and like to him saying like stupid stuff, and then it goes back to him like explaining who he is, and then he'll go back to him saying like stupid stuff and cut back. And it's kind of one of those things like the like that saying of like when something starts glitching out, it starts like freaking out. So he'll do stuff like that. It was pretty funny. You should watch it. I was laughing the whole time I saw that. All right. Has anybody here played the Granblue Fantasy Relink demo at all?
I have not, but I watched a little bit of you playing it, and it looks like something I'd enjoy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's something I was worried about. So, Granblue Fantasy Relink was announced, I want to say like in 2018, and originally was being developed by Platinum Games. And something happened in around 2020, and Platinum Games kind of split off from them. There was like a lot of things happening with Platinum Games around that time, but Side Games, who, to my knowledge, their only credits for a video game is the mobile game Granblue Fantasy, which is just one of those kind of like you tap in a certain order and they'll do like combos in different orders. If you ever play like Final Fantasy Brave Exvius on mobile, it's kind of like that where you just tap the little characters and they do their own thing. That's the only credits I know of them having. They developed this game, and this game is actually really, really good. It's a really good action RPG. It's fun. The music is great. Some of the music also is from Nobuo Uematsu too, which was kind of
Hmm.
cool. I don't know if any of the songs in the demo are from him, but I know he does some of the tracks for the Granblue series. And yeah, overall, it's a great game. It's a mixture of trying to think. Like it reminds me of like PS3 era games or even PS2 where you have a hub world. You go through just like NPCs to talk to you, like equip. You can like buy equipment, all that other stuff, and then you can do a story mission or you can do quests that are online and multiplayer where you can have like other people partner up with you and do like all these other quests. So it has like a Monster Hunter vibe to it, I guess you could say, where you have that hub world. But then there's also the story aspect where you're going along doing these story stuff, and it's fun. The combat is fun. The combos is fun. It doesn't feel like it's very repetitive, if
It
that makes
looked
sense.
nice.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like Dynasty Warriors, right? Where you're just like mowing through enemies. You're like, okay, same thing over and over. No, it's fun. Graphically speaking, it's also really good. It's beautiful art style. I really liked it, and yeah, I'm excited for it. Are you guys thinking of picking this up at all?
I'm yeah, I probably will. I don't know if I'll do it right away because
Mhm,
I have a couple other things that are cooking right now. But
mhm.
I know right now PlayStation Stars has a mission. If you buy it, you get like I don't know what it is, coins or stars or I don't know
Yeah.
what the currency is or whatever. But if you buy it or whatever right now,
Mhm.
you get some bonus points. So I'm kind of tempted to pick it up because I know I'm going to buy it eventually. But I don't know if I'm going to do that or if I'm going to do Prince of Persia because I did play that demo too, which we can talk about as well if you want
Yeah,
to.
I've completely forgot about that demo came out, and I
Mm,
haven't played that.
mm.
Yeah, I haven't played that demo yet either.
What about you, fan? You think of getting Granblue?
Um, Probably because I did play like the other Granblue games
Mhm,
when it first came out. But it's been a while since I picked up a Granblue game.
mhm. Yeah, I'm excited for this. And it's something that will be pretty fun to go through in the group stream because the multiplayer quests are actually pretty fun. I was actually playing with Shu. The multiplayer quests we did it a run through them, and they're fun. One of them was a kind of like onslaught of enemies, so like you're in an arena and you have different waves coming at you, and then the final wave is like a boss. So that was fun. And then we did two other ones, which another one was a boss uh that's like a normal like difficulty, and then there was a hard difficulty boss that they had there, and that one was pretty fun because it was pretty difficult, had some crazy moves, but you kind of like it felt like an MMO, right, where you get
Mhm.
these bosses that you fight, and you kind of have to follow their attack patterns, know when to dodge, how many hits to do before you do something else. It felt a lot like that, and it was fun. We died a few times, we got resurrected. You can have like items you can utilize for potions and stuff like that. Each character has their own skills. So, you can have somebody be a healer, somebody can be like more of a tank. The other one is more of like a DPS. Some are quicker than others. So there's a lot of, I guess, customization on the characters, but they're based on the character because each character has their own role, if that makes sense.
So it's like Overwatch meets Monster Hunter.
I guess you could say that. Yeah, something like that.
Mm.
It kind of had like a Tales kind of vibe to it a little bit too. I
Mhm.
felt like
Yeah, I would say yeah, it felt like Tails, just way better than Tails. Um and that's not like a what
a dig.
yeah, it's not a dig at Tales, because Tales of Rise is amazing. I'm actually running through that right now, and it's still fun, but the combat feels more of an action RPG than Tales of Arise does. Tales of Rise
Mm.
is still kind of stiff, where this has a lot of flow. Like I can be in the middle of a combo and just go ahead and dodge out of it. It has that what I like about a lot of games. It has like that perfect dodge moment where if you dodge at the
Oh,
perfect
okay.
time, you get like
Like near
invincibility.
Automata or Bayonetta.
Exactly. It has that
Yeah,
in there, which I'm pretty sure that's probably what Platinum Games already had in there, and they kind of just built on top of
probably.
that. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, again, it feels very Platinum Games ish, but I'm pretty sure they
That
took
sounds
over their.
now I'm really interested. Now I'm really interested in pre-ordering it because I love Near Automata and everything.
Yeah,
So
it has that. There's like there's like combo systems. You can do team attacks, so your AI or your like whatever you want to call them, your party members, right? They'll go ahead and do their special, and if everybody has their special, like special bar at 100%, you can go ahead and use each person's special in a row and do like a link attack. A lot of cool things that they had going on for it. I really enjoyed it. I liked it. Uh, I recommend watching the anime. If you don't know anything about the story of what Granblue is, watch the anime. It's a good introduction to all the characters that you'll, not all of them, but the majority of the characters you will play as in Relink. I think it's only like 10 episodes, but it's really just the
okay.
introduction of who Grand is, or the captain as he's known, um, and what's his story. I forget what the girl with the blue hair is. Who is she? Why is she there? And so forth. Yeah, that's Granblue Fantasy. Comes out. When does it come out? I think I want to
In
say
a week
End
or
of the
two or
month.
something.
This is end of the month.
yeah. Let me see. I think it's
That's what it says on Steam. It says January like 31st or 24th or whatever.
okay. Yeah, I think it's
31st.
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 Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. So I'm excited. I'm actually gonna wait a little bit because I'm kind of upset that there's no PC demo. It's only PS5 demo, which sucks, and I want to know if it's going to run on the Steam Deck. You know,
I think that new games that are coming out are bending over backwards to get Steam Deck verified because they know like what a big deal that is.
Yeah,
So I wouldn't be surprised if it were.
I hope so. I mean, there's a lot of Japanese games that don't work on Steam Deck, like Star Ocean: The Divine Force. There's a lot, according to ProtonDB, doesn't function correctly. Valkyrie Elysium, another one. Stranger of Paradise, you get no cutscenes.
I thought. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it works, but you can't see the cutscenes. It's just like a black screen where it has like
Grandia doesn't work either.
it doesn't. I didn't know that.
Nope.
Mm.
Grandia 1 and 2 do not work, which really sucks because I really'd like to play those on Steam Deck and get some achievements, but nope.
That sucks. See, that's another reason why I'm considering the ROG Ally. I had Fan bring in the ROG Ally, and I was playing around with it, and I actually do like it. Like it felt good and
What about the
smooth.
Claw?
We'll get to that.
We'll talk about the claw later.
We'll get to that? Okay.
Yeah, we will talk about the claw later. There. Yeah,
Such a fun name.
that's the Granblue Fantasy Relink. Comes out. I forgot what date you said, but on the 31st. There we go. Comes out on the 31st. Let's talk about some Xbox. Oh man, it's hard for me to talk right now. Xbox has a developer direct coming out next Wednesday, and there's one game I'm very interested in, which I'm glad they're going to show off, and that's the Indiana Jones game. They already said what games are going to show up, which is kind of cool. So you have expectations. Don't expect any surprises, but they are going to show 10 minutes of the Indiana Jones game, and I'm kind of excited because this has potential to be just like Xbox version of Uncharted, which to me Uncharted was just Indiana Jones, just different. It felt like more like a modern Indiana Jones take, I would say, or just the male version of Tomb Raider.
That's how
Yeah,
I saw it.
yeah, that's another way to look at it as well. But yeah, I'm excited for this. Not expecting too much, but I really want to look into the Indiana Jones game because it's made by the same team who did Wolfenstein. So it's a first-person shooter game. And I'm curious, like, are they going to make Indiana Jones first person, or are they actually going to go third person? What do you guys think
First
on
person
this?
whip.
That'd be kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it could
I
be
don't have.
done. Mhm.
I'm sure maybe they can find a way. I mean, I personally have no nostalgia for Indiana Jones. I only
Mhm.
watched like the first movie or two. I don't know, maybe like
Yeah.
10 or 15 years ago, and it just, I don't know, it just never appealed to me. Like if people like it, like that's
Mhm.
awesome, and I'm excited that people are excited for it. But unfortunately, I don't really have any comments
Yeah.
on it.
Oh no, I agree with you. I have no nostalgia for Indiana Jones neither. The only thing
Mm.
I'm excited for is that it's another type of Uncharted game, right?
Mm.
That's what my head is thinking. It's like, oh, cool. If I get more of a game like Uncharted, and I really liked Uncharted, that's a plus. I can play something that's similar in that vibe. What about you, fan?
I mean, so I actually kind of I am nostalgia for Indiana Jones mainly because of
Oh.
the second one,
Yeah.
because of Short Round, because I knew
Who
him.
doesn't love him?
I knew him from the Goonies because he
Yeah,
plays
or the
Data.
Goonies. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's kind
Who
of,
doesn't love that guy?
Yep.
I know he's awesome.
He's amazing.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see how they're gonna do it. Like if they're gonna do first person, I think it'd be a little weird to do a whip first person unless it's like, you
See,
target like
a
you would normal.
disembodied hand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's just. But it'd be cool to see it as a third person, or maybe it's third person, but you can like switch first and third, like
Yeah.
depending on what you want to play.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
Uncharted 4 felt a lot like Indiana Jones because he had the whip in that game to swing, right? So it's like it was almost Indiana Jones to begin with. So I'm curious, and I do like when devs, I wouldn't say go out of their comfort zone, but they do something different than what they're known for. A great example is Respawn, right? They've done, Vince is known for Call of Duty. They do Titanfall, and then we get Fallen Order, and in my head I was like, oh, this can't be good. These people only do first person shooter games. How are they gonna do an action adventure Star Wars game? And there we have it. It was a great
It's the only
action adventure
Souls game I've ever enjoyed.
Yeah, it's they did a really good job. I really like when they do stuff like that. So.
One that you didn't hate yourself trying to play, but yeah.
But yeah, I like that a lot, and I'm kind of excited to see how this turns out. I was talking to my dad today, and I was telling him, I was like, hey, there's an Indiana Jones game coming out. And he got super excited because he loves Indiana Jones, and he loves Uncharted games. Like he's not like a hardcore gamer, but he plays like Assassin's Creed. You know, every time we go and visit, he's playing Assassin's Creed. I think he was making his way through Odyssey. He finished Origins. Now he's making his way through Odyssey. And he loves Assassin's Creed because he likes those action adventure games like that. He loves the Uncharted series. He's played 1, 2, and 3. He hasn't played 4 because he doesn't have a PS4 nor a PS5. He has only an Xbox Series X, so he's excited for this. So, yeah, I mean, we'll wait and see. There's some other rumors going on with Xbox, and this is almost on the flip side, on the side that I really don't care much for, but it has, you know, Twitter talking or X talking, that Microsoft might start putting their games onto the Switch and even are considering even PlayStation, which is kind of weird. One of them that keeps popping up is Hi-Fi Rush, that apparently it's coming to Nintendo Switch, which is really interesting. And at the same time, not
I think it
interesting.
fits.
Say it again.
I said I think that fits. Like it just like I think Microsoft's main thing is like they don't care where you play their games as long as you're playing them or you're playing them on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Like they just want to get as many people into Game Pass as possible. Like they're a lot more agnostic about where you're doing it.
Yeah.
And I just think Hi-Fi Rush just seems like such a natural marriage to the Switch, just its overall vibe
Yeah.
and the colors and everything about it. So I don't doubt for a second that that's going to be maybe like the next Nintendo Direct or something, Hi-Fi Rush Shadow Drop or something.
Yeah, I mean the style of game and the visuals like kind of go with the Nintendo vibe.
Right.
This. Oh,
I
sorry
mean,
about that, guy.
slowly Microsoft's just gonna stop making consoles, and you know they're just gonna be software.
Like
We're
Sega.
back where they originally started.
I was gonna mention that, like, in my head, what this is reminding me of is Sega,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like worrisome there because I won't say worries. It's not worrisome in the sense that like I care what happens to Microsoft, because I don't really, but I do because that puts PlayStation in a tier all by themselves, and that's not a good thing, right? Because it's never good if there's no competition. You want competition because
Right.
that's how we get innovations. That's how we get things to come
Yep.
out better overall. Like when Nintendo was on top for the longest time, they kind of did whatever they want, right? And then you get something like the N64. They thought they can pretty much, you know, kind of brute force and bully themselves. Like, yeah, here's our proprietary cartridges, and you're gonna buy them. And you know, the industry went, nope. PlayStation's using CDs and it's not proprietary. So guess what? We're gonna go ahead and, you know, develop our games for PlayStation, and that's kind of woke up Nintendo. We're like, wow, we can't really be, you know, dumb like this anymore. We have to kind of look at our developers as well as what we want to do as innovation as well. And that was a wake up call there. Same thing when the Xbox 360 came out with a bang, and there was a lot of positives for the Xbox 360 that made PlayStation wake up. Be like, we can't charge, you know, what was it like at the time, $600 or whatever.
$700.
Yeah, for
600 American dollars or whatever they said.
for
I mean,
a
at the
PS3
time, it was the cheapest Blu-ray.
Blu-ray
This is a
player.
Blu-ray player.
Yep.
Yeah. At the time, it was the cheapest Blu-ray player because Blu-ray players are going for like $1,000.
Yep.
So,
But
you know,
without that, we wouldn't have gone to PS4, right? And vice versa. PS4 dominating, and that wouldn't have forced Xbox to kind of change their way of thinking. But unfortunately, for whatever reason, like the PS4,
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
almost
arguable.
destroyed like the Xbox,
Yeah.
really, really bad. And I just don't. It's one of those things that I don't know if Microsoft could ever make a comeback like that. Like not like they did with the 360. I don't think they can, in my opinion.
I don't think they can buy their way out of what they're trying to do, like purchasing Activision, Blizzard, and like they can't just gobble up every company and expect that they're going to end up on top. Like it takes a strategy. It takes developers making original things that people want to play.
Yeah.
Like they just can't buy everything and say I'm going to win.
Yeah,
they can't do a merger war like this.
Right.
Yeah, and I also don't think that like I also think exclusives are a huge part, and they're buying exclusives, which doesn't matter because you can buy all these developers. But take Bethesda as an example, and Starfield, they bought Bethesda because they're like, yeah, Bethesda's worth a lot. A lot of people love Elder Scrolls, Skyrim, so you know, let's buy them. And Starfield's going to be amazing, and people just didn't care for Starfield. It came in and left like faster than any other game that, you know, came out.
Yeah,
in
that was such a
2023.
hyped game. That was such a hyped game, and it just like it came out, and there was a week of memes and people talking about it, and now it's just like nobody's talking about that game anymore. Compare that to like Fallout 3, which lasted years. Even
Mhm.
Fallout 4 had some trail
Yeah,
to it, but
Fallout 4 was for a couple of years,
yeah,
people were still talking
yeah.
about it.
But
Yeah.
Starfield,
Yeah.
shrug.
And that's something you like you said you can't buy. I'm not saying like PlayStation's not doing anything dumb neither. Like they got rid of Japan Studios, and ever since they did that, like that's why I hate PlayStation. It's like you got rid of my favorite studio that you had. The core to what PlayStation was, which was Japan Studios, and you know that's another story though. But yeah, I feel like Xbox they have a lot of things to prove, and I think in a sense, I feel like they can come back, but like you said, not they can't buy their way back. They have to kind of start developing these great games, start coming out with these
Put some
great
product
games.
out there.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it has
put
to
some
be
product
it
out
has
there.
to be diversity, right?
Right.
Diverse portfolio. That's why I think Nintendo's kind of great. Like they didn't have really shooters, but most of their games are different, right? They have platformers, they have action adventure games, they have puzzle games, they have RPGs, they have like so many different type of games there. PlayStation kind of had that, but Halo signups like a shooter, a shooter. Oh, another shooter, a shooter, a shooter. Oh, here's a Western RPG, and here's another shooter. Right? That was like what Xbox was kind of known for, was just mass shooters. And now it's like I feel like they're kind of in that spot where like we gotta do some other stuff. Hi-Fi Rush blows up. People are excited for Hi-Fi Rush. And it's kind of like one of their better games. And I can get why people are kind of upset too. Like, oh wow, this is now going to the Nintendo Switch, and this was a game that a lot of people were like, "Oh, I wish I had an Xbox to play this," or I'll play this on PC or something like that. To bring it to Switch, I feel is like the wrong move in my opinion, as a business. Yeah, but I get it. You'll make more money, but you also want to entice people to your platform as well. If that
Yeah,
makes
but at the
sense.
same time though, like
Hmm.
I agree, but I don't necessarily think that Switch is Xbox's competitor. Like I think they
Yeah.
kind of exist on separate planes. Like I think there are a great number
Hmm.
of people that have Switches and that's the only system they
Yeah.
have, and it's not preventing them from buying
Hmm.
an Xbox because they don't own an Xbox
Yeah.
or a gaming PC in the first place.
Hmm.
So I mean, so I agree to an extent that if you put all of your stuff out there everywhere, then yeah, you're gonna lose your focus on your main console. But it's not like it's oversaturation
Yeah.
because people just want to play it on Switch sometimes too.
So also yes and no to that as well, because I get what you're saying. But I think there's also another layer to that, right? So, like you said, I don't think Xbox and Nintendo are direct competitors. The same way I don't think PlayStation and Nintendo are direct competitors.
Right.
But
Right.
it to also reference that I know people that I know in my friend circles. Well, I'm kidding. I have no friends, but people that I know of that have these things. They typically have, if they have a PlayStation, they also have a Switch. They might have an Xbox and they might also have a Switch. They might even have a PC and also have a Switch, right? But you might have somebody who has a PlayStation that doesn't have an Xbox. And that was a way to kind of entice people who might have PlayStation and Switch to kind of like, man, maybe I should really consider an Xbox, or maybe getting Game Pass on PC to play this, or buying it on PC. And now that leverage is kind of almost gone. Does that make sense?
Do you think
It does.
Microsoft has basically given up on this generation of console?
It almost feels like it. Like,
Because like with the number of units that Switch has, if they say like, hey, if every single one of those people buy Hi-Fi Rush, that's way more than how many people have an Xbox, right? So maybe
sure.
their whole thought process, like, you know what, we've Xbox Series X came out what 2020,
2020. Yeah.
Yes.
2020. So it's already 4 years old. They'll keep doing what they're doing, but at this point, maybe they're like, let's just start putting some of our IPs out there,
Hmm.
and then next generation we're going to try and kill it.
I mean, yeah, I
Because I
can.
mean, they're in the boat that they're in now,
Yeah.
right? Like they can try and entice people to buy Series X's, or they can entice people who already have other consoles to like buy the games.
Yeah. I see where you're getting at. I feel that, yeah, that I could see that being the thing. Um, Yeah, it's possible, right? They're like, we're losing a lot of money right now. This is an extra way for us to kind of get back some of that money that we're using. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
get
can
some of
I
that
can definitely
revenue
see
back. I
that.
mean, there's like millions of Switches out there, and each person bought Hi-Fi Rush. Like, hey, even if they already own it on an Xbox
Yeah,
or
even if ten
play it on
percent.
PC, yeah, they're like, hey, even if they already own it, a lot of people tend to buy the games multiple times on
Yeah.
multiple platforms.
Well, I mean, if 10% of Switch owners, because there's what, like 130 million Switch owners or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's
Like if 10% of that,
crazy
that's
amount of Switches.
13 million,
Yeah, times
users there.
$60.
That's probably more than what Xbox, you know, is getting for that stuff. So yeah, I get you were saying. That's probably what they're thinking of. I also do think, and if I was in Microsoft's shoes, what I would look at is partnering up with AMD, and my next console would just be a PC. Like honestly, make it an affordable PC that is just literally a PC and have that platform there. I think that would be the way to go in my opinion, because PC gaming has become a lot more popular, especially thanks to the handhelds with Steam Deck, ROG Ally, Legion Go. I'm sure with MSI Claw, more people are going to be playing that, and it's especially with the new generation. PC gaming is kind of like where it's at, and I think that's somewhere to look. And I think also that's why Sony's been putting their games on PC because they're also noticing that. Japan is a good example too. Like Steam Deck is a lot more popular over there. The handhelds they have, if you go to a store over there, they have a showcase of all PC gaming handhelds because that's becoming a more popular thing. And it's also great. It's kind of like the ecosystem that everybody always wished that PlayStation would have done. It's already built. It's already there, and that's now with a gaming PC and a gaming PC handheld right there, right? Or a Steam Deck. So I think that would be really the way to go for Microsoft. So they technically have that trump card there. They just have to kind of go through with it. And of course, they have cloud gaming and all that other stuff that can be like additional. Yeah. Any other thoughts on this?
No, I don't think so.
All right. So moving on, and this is going to be a little bit of a quick review. It's just some hardware announcements. Not too great or anything like that, but it's actually pretty good news in my opinion. Nvidia, CES of course was this week. A lot of announcements here, a lot of it AI based, which was pretty cool. I was looking through a bunch of gadgets, and we're not going to go through it because typically we talk about just the gaming side of things, not all the tech. But I do want to mention the GPUs that were announced that Nvidia did come out with, which is the 4070 Super, 4070 Ti Super, and the 4080 Super, which seem to be pretty good values. I know the 4080 Super is going to start out at $1,000. So if you're looking for a new GPU and you probably want a very powerful card, this would be it. The 4070 Super is going to be starting off at $499, so $500. And according to NVIDIA, it's as powerful as a 3090. So you want a card that's as powerful as a 3090? There you have it. It's a 4070 Super, and then of course a 4070 Ti Super. I believe that was going to be, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was like either 800 or 700. I think it was $800 for that one if you want the Ti Super. Some good cards. One cool thing they also announced is RTX Remix. What RTX Remix is, if you're a developer, if you're a modder, and you know how to kind of use this, basically what it'll do is upscale the textures using AI and also add ray tracing to older games. So they kind of showed an example of Half-Life and Portal using RTX Remix, and it looks pretty cool. Like in my head, I'm like, wow, if people can find a way to mod older games, it'll pretty much bring new light to all these older games. Like, could you imagine somehow through emulation, somebody's able to be like, here's Legend of Dragoon, but using RTX Remix and make ray tracing showing up on Legend of Dragoon and like better water effects and stuff like that on your own. I mean, that
It
would be pretty
depends,
awesome.
because if it looks like too artificial, it's like
yeah.
not good either.
No, I agree with that, but like I'm just thinking like
It'd be
possibilities.
like when Blu-ray first came out, and you could tell the difference between special effects and real life recording.
Yeah,
It was
Right.
just like
that's true.
it's just the disconnect was just too much there.
Yeah, what's that called in like robots, like when humans look too much like or robots look too much like humans? What's that called? The
Oh, you're talking about like in visual effects when you're trying to make like a digital person look real, but then it's
yeah, and
too
it scares people. What there's a term for that. I'm looking it up.
Uncanny Valley.
Uncanny Valley, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I've never heard that term.
Oh.
Yeah, it's you'll see it like in like it's visual effects stuff, like
Okay.
for even games and stuff like that, when they try and make a digital avatar look as real as possible, but then your brain was like
There's just something off about this. Yeah.
There's something off about this.
Okay. Yeah, I've never heard that term. But yeah, I don't know. I think there can be some good things to come out with that. It's very interesting. We'll have to wait and see. It's just a tool for modders to use, and then I assume game developers could probably use it themselves too. And of course, all that uses the power of the 40 series cards to utilize that, because they're adding all these AI cores that allow you to do a bunch of tricks there, which is cool. AMD announced also a new CPU and GPU. There was a bunch of actually CPUs that they announced that have integrated graphics, which is kind of cool, because I was actually looking and thinking about building a mini PC for one of my other sons to use, and these are going to have more powerful GPUs, more powerful than the Z1 Extreme, which are integrated GPUs rather, which is going to be pretty cool. But two of the biggest things that they announced was the Ryzen 7 5700X 3D. So for those of you who don't know, um, the 3D things have something called 3D cache, and it helps out a lot with games. It will make games performance like jump up a lot, which is why the Ryzen 7 5800X 3D is very popular. The 7800X 3D is very popular because they're very good good CPUs that have that. So anyways, this is more of an entry level version of that, which is nice. A very cheap CPU that has 3D cache, and it's only $249. And I was like, wow, like I might actually get that now. Like I'm thinking of just jumping up to this CPU and getting that because it has 3D cache, and it's going to help out a lot in terms of games overall. So you'll get a lot higher FPS because of that. And then they announced a budget GPU, the RX 7600 XT. That's $329. A great 1080p card. They say you can run games at 1440p. It's a decent 1080p card, I would say, for the $329 price point. It has 16 gigs of VRAM, which is also nice, meaning it will take you a little bit longer, and it has also like the AI cores for their AI stuff as well. So some cool announcements there. MSI was also there. They showed off the MSI Claw. They showed off some cool custom Monster Hunter like theme, like motherboards and controllers and like cases and stuff like that, which were kind of cool. Well, of course, the biggest thing there was the MSI Claw. We finally got it officially announced. We did like kind of talk about it a little bit in the last podcast and talked about the rumors, but the specs are officially announced, and we can go over that. Starting off with the MSI Claw, so they will come in either the Intel Core Ultra 7 or the Ultra 5. $699 for the Ultra 5, $799 for the Ultra 7. I did hear someone say that there's also a $700.50 variant, but there's only one person that reported that where nobody else did. So I don't know if that version is real. All I know is those two are real though. The $699 and the $799 are. 53 watt hour battery life, which was also reported. Of course, it's using Intel CPU, right? Arc graphics GPU with XeSS, which is their version of upscaling. It does look a lot like the ROG Ally, but the more I look at it, the more it is different. The speaker grills, for example, are not in the same way. If you look at the back, the whole back is completely different as well. It's pretty much all vents, which is kind of cool, right? It has 6 cores, 6 performance cores, 8 efficiency cores, 2 low power efficiency cores, and then it has the NPU, which is I think they call it the neural processing unit. I believe that's what they call it in Intel, which is basically like for AI stuff. And yeah, they have something what they call hyperflow technology. It's supposed to be like a really revolutionary cooling system to keep the Claw just overall cooler. The power is supposed to be 50% longer compared to market average, which their actual comparison, they actually said it over there, was the ROG Ally. Like they were literally saying the ROG Ally by name. Nothing else with the ROG Ally. That's really what they were comparing themselves to. Looks interesting. It has Mystic Light, right, for the thumbsticks. And also the face buttons. The face buttons, when we said it last time, we're like, oh, it's a blue color. But the face buttons are actually RGB. So they change color depending on the lighting, which is actually really cool. Like
That's nifty, yeah.
Yeah, if you go to like their website and look at it, like it's pretty cool that you can just change the color to whatever you want. That's
I'm
kind
look
of
at
neat.
that right now.
120 hertz display. VRR is on there, so
LCD.
It is an LCD display. Yeah. According to what they said, though, it's pretty much on par with the ROG Ally in terms of like color saturation and stuff like that. So it's a very good display. But yeah, 120 hertz with VRR, so that one ups the ROG Ally. Hall effect thumbsticks and Hall effect triggers, which are amazing. That's another plus on this versus like the ROG Ally, because ROG Ally doesn't have that stuff. The D-pad seems to be a little bit better as well compared to the ROG Ally. And it's Wi-Fi 7, which I don't know anything that takes Wi-Fi 7. But another plus, Thunderbolt 4, right? So since it is an Intel CPU, it has Thunderbolt 4 connectivity, meaning that it's easy to buy an eGPU, throw a GPU in there, or I'm sorry, in a enclosure, GPU enclosure, throw a GPU in there, and there you go. You have pretty much a desktop PC. But yeah, what are
I'm
your?
looking at
Mhm.
I was gonna say I'm looking at the buttons right now
Yeah,
because that really intrigued me, and it's really interesting. Like it looks like they have like their like the video I'm looking at looks like there's just like a light flashing in it, like a disco light or something like
yeah,
that. Like is it like white on the inside and then it flashes and it makes the whole thing look like it's a color? Like what's the default like when the unit's turned
yeah.
off, I wonder what does it look like?
There will be like no light. It's just like kind of like clear from what
Like
I've
black
seen.
and
It's just like
gray?
black
Okay.
basically. Yeah, everything's just black. But you can kind of set up everything there. So yeah, it would be black. The actual like buttons are black and the letters are kind of just like a lighter color, so you can kind of see the buttons. But
I
all of
think that's
that,
cool though. That's a
Mhm.
really nifty feature.
Yeah, it's cool. Like they had on some of the videos I saw, they had it so that Mystic Light would kind of cycle through colors and it kind of blends in and blends out, and that was kind of cool. You just saw it cycling very slow from green to like blue to purple, which is pretty neat.
I'm just hoping they add shielding for the
S
Hall effect
micro SD.
triggers.
Okay.
Well, that one, yes, but mainly for the Hall effect joysticks and the triggers,
Hmm.
just to make sure that the magnets that does the Hall effects isn't gonna like mess with each other,
Yeah. No. Yeah, that's
because
true. Yeah.
it's magnetic, right? It's Hall
Yeah.
effect. That's how they do it. So you want to make sure that the magnets and the triggers isn't gonna mess with the magnets and the joystick because they're right by each other.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping there's some type of shielding in there to kind of protect that.
That's true.
That case looks nice. I'm looking at like what the accessories are for it. That case looks nice. Looks like it comes with a screen shield.
Yeah.
Um, looks nice.
There's also the dock there that they showed
Mhm.
off. So there's like a MSI dock that they're showing off that also supports like VRR and stuff like that. I believe the dock too has HDMI 2.1, which is good
Oh,
because
nice. Yeah.
the Steam Deck dock doesn't, which kind of like annoyed me
No.
because when VRR came out for the Steam Deck dock, I was like, sweet, connected to my TV, and like there is like no the VRR was turned off, and it's like I can't turn it on. I was like, why is it not working? And sure enough, it's because there's no 2.1 HDMI 2.1, so I can't connect it to my TV. There's that like cool stuff. There's that ugly claw thing. I'm just kidding. The claw with a
That's why I was gonna
keychain.
buy it, man. It was for that claw.
Yeah, they did say that they're. I remember who was it? Someone, one of the tech guys that was at CES was talk. He mentioned about the micro SD card reader.
Hmm.
I think it might have been Retro Game Core. That he brought that up with the MSI rep, and they're like, well, you know, we made sure there was as much airflow in that area as possible, so hopefully there won't be any issues.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, the whole back is like perforated, so there's got to be a lot of airflow going on in there.
Mm-hmm. Another feature to add that they're putting in here is called MSI App Player, which is actually pretty cool. It's basically an application that allows you to download Android games. So if you want to play like Genshin Impact or something like that, you can do it through the MSI App Player, which just installs Android titles, which is kind of cool.
I'm not sure about the Android version of Genshin.
Oh yeah, it's not as good as iOS for sure. Like,
Well, it doesn't have controller support.
yeah, there's that too, which is still
So-
weird.
Really?
Yeah,
yeah, it has no controller support.
That's weird.
Yeah,
So
it's
if you're gonna play Genshin on those, you might as well download. Is it on Epic? Or
well, you can go to their
Hoyoverse.
website. Yeah,
You download
Hoyoverse.
Hoyoverse
Yep.
and play it on there.
Yeah, that was kind of weird,
But
like because controller support. I want to say Genshin Impact had controller support since the very beginning on iOS, and
It does on iOS, doesn't it?
yeah,
it does on iOS, yeah, but not on Android, which is just weird. But I mean, I guess there's certain games on Android that I guess you know if you want to play on it, you can.
yeah. I don't know what games. Now
I
that
don't know
think
why,
about
but
it.
yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know what games, but I mean, there are people out there that do it. I guess if they want to like PUBG Mobile or something like that.
Yeah, I guess there's that. Yeah, PUBG mode will make sense, or any type of like mobile, like Call of Duty mobile or something like that too,
Mhm.
which would make sense. But yeah, overall, it's spec wise seems pretty good. I have some worries. Number one
Let's hear 'em.
is the 53 watt hour battery life. It's cool, right? It sounds great. It's like, oh wow, it's the ROG Ally has 40 watt hours. This has 53.
Still Windows.
So technically speaking, it should have a better battery life. But and here's the but, right? Intel CPUs typically are more power hungry than AMD CPUs. Now, I did not do the math and see exactly what the Ultra 7 takes in terms of power consumption, but I do know when you compare, let's say, like a Ryzen 7 versus like an i7, an i7 would do like, let's say, 180 watts for power, where a Ryzen 7 is like 100 watts. So that's 80 more watts overall for very similar performance. And that's kind of like an an iffy thing. Like, why? Like, I guess the battery is needed for this because it's going to be more power hungry. And that's also kind of like a turnoff because like the whole point we do portable gaming too is that we do want a pretty decent battery life because you want to play on the go. You're not buying this just to stay stuck inside the wall and always plugged into a charger. So that's one of the things I'm worried about. The other thing I'm worried about, and it's also Intel related, it's that the Arc GPU, the Arc graphics still have issues. When they were showing off video of gameplay, and I don't remember who it was, but somebody was talking about it, showing live gameplay. It's like, yeah, it runs very smoothly. And literally, when they say it runs very smoothly, they're playing Assassin's Creed Mirage, and it just freezes, and then it starts up again. I was like, that is not very smoothly. And, it was very consistent because other people that I saw playing Assassin's Creed Mirage, the same thing. I saw, I think it was ETA Prime playing Sonic Superstars, and it started freezing as well. I was like, this is not a good sign, especially for something like Sonic Superstars, which the Steam Deck does, perfect without an issue. So that's another thing I'm worried about because when it comes to just the art graphics in general, even though they've come a long way, I don't think they're going to pull it off as good. That's just my 2 cents. What are your guys' thoughts on this? We'll start with you, Bryant, because I think you own what? You own like every single PC handheld.
I wish. No, I just have my Steam Deck OLED, but yeah, I think I DM'd you this or I said in our chat or whatever that like I do have kind of a higher opinion of MSI. I do think they make some good hardware. I think I want to say my motherboard is MSI, and I had an MSI gaming laptop that was solid. As for your concerns about the performance based on the
drivers,
this event, yeah, I was gonna say like I'm sure there's gonna be some updates that'll come out. When that thing comes out, just as far as like you turn it on, you have to download a bunch of updates and drivers and stuff like that, like on the day of, like just like you have to do with a Steam Deck OLED or the Asus, you have to download Windows updates on top of like the firmware updates for the Asus, like through that program
Armory
that's
Crate.
built into the Armory Crate. Yeah. So I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe it'll come out and it will be kind of inconsistent and not great. But like I said before when we talked about this, like I think competition's great, and this goes back to what we were saying before about how it's good to have competition because when ROG came out and when these gaming handhelds are just becoming a lot more pervasive, Steam or Valve just was like, you know what, we have to find a way to make. I mean, and who knows? The Steam Deck OLED's probably been in development for a lot longer than this stuff's been coming out. But I think they knew that the fire was at their backs as far as like to make something that was a bit more impressive, and that's what gave us the Steam Deck OLED. So when this MSI Claw comes out, I'm really curious to see how it's going to stand up next to the ROG Ally. And I heard there's actually also a Steam OS new handheld coming out. Is it ANO or something like that?
INEO Next Lite. And
yeah.
Don't get your hopes up on that one.
Yeah, that's an older AMD APU, and the minute I saw that at $299, it's like, nah, I don't think it's worth it.
The problem is it's not. They claim it's running Steam OS. It's not. It's running Hollow OS. So it's like
a clone.
It's a modded version of someone took the image of Steam OS and was able to modify it to where it can run on other hardware. So it's not an official version of Steam OS.
I'm not giving up my Steam Deck. Don't get me wrong. I just saw that it was coming out. I was curious.
But at $299, like you might as well spend an extra $100 and get a Steam Deck.
Oh yeah,
right.
Because it's a Ryzen, I think 4000 series APU.
It's like a 4950 or something like that.
Yeah, it's not worth it at all for what that is, for sure.
In terms of performance, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at $299, I'd rather buy like an Odin, what's it called? Iron Odin like 2 or something like that. I'll have more usages for that. I probably play games better with that versus that. Yeah. What about you, Fan? What do you think about it?
I get where you're coming from with the driver stuff because I have those concerns too. Because like Arc GPUs on desktop, it has issues with running games and stuff like that. I'm sure they'll probably iron out most of the stuff. I mean, when the ROG Ally first came out, like it was buggy too. There were a lot of like BIOS updates that had to be done after the
And
fact.
Steam
There's
Deck
still
too.
yeah, and there's still BIOS updates. Yeah, I know when I got my Steam Deck for the first time, there was an update already on it that I had to run before I could even play anything. So, um, I think as long as they fix like 90 or 80% of the driver issues, it'll be fine.
For me, it's just like, I mean, I could see that. Yeah, they I would assume they ironed that out, but and here's the big but, right? It's they have Arc GPUs already, and Arc GPUs, even though they've run better, they're still very hit and miss in the games. So that's the only thing I'm worried about, right? Because I do feel that like when people are developing these games, I think the Intel GPUs are just not in their mind. They're like, majority of gamers have AMD GPUs or NVIDIA GPUs, and that's it. That's really what they're thinking about. So there's like a lot of catch up in a sense. I do agree. Like I have faith in MSI. Like you were saying earlier, Bryant, like MSI makes solid hardware. I know people like complain about MSI. I've never had an issue with MSI. Where Asus, I've had various issues with their motherboards and stuff like that. But other people I've never had an issue with them. So I don't know. I guess one of those things we'll wait and see. Like I'm gonna see if I can hold the urge to buy an ROG Ally till this comes out, and then buy this, and then if I like it, keep it. If not, return it or something like that. Welcome in, Ash.
What's up? How you
Uh,
guys doing?
Pretty good. Any? What are your thoughts on the MSI Claw?
So, I mean, I'm not really. I don't really care too much about the MSI Claw. My mind's still on the Steam Deck OLED.
Yeah.
If anything, here's the thing. I know the console's not the most powerful portable console out of like the lineups when you compare it to like the ROG Ally. I just care about my OLED screen.
Yeah.
Okay, so like unless the Asus ROG Ally can come out with like an OLED variant, I may consider it and stuff. But right now, Steam Deck was kind of like the catalyst for PC portable gaming to begin with, and has already been proven that it can still handle most of the games that it comes out for the Steam library. So I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Secondly, when it comes to MSI in their products, I'm also a big fan as well. I currently using an MSI X470 motherboard in my system right now. I recently had to change my father's CPU from the first gen Ryzen to the latest gen, or I won't say latest gen because saying latest gen is AM5, but the newest AM4 CPUs, which is the 5000 series AMD, which I'm like, man, it's crazy how much support and the AM4 platform has, where you can see a night and day difference between performances. But his motherboard is also MSI, and I think that was like my first AM4 motherboard that I had when Ryzen first came out. It was the B350, and it is still working and still kicking. So it's MSI that does make some good stuff. Now, as for the Intel Arc GPUs, I mean, here's the thing, right? When Intel Arc first came out, of course, it had driver issues because it was a new dedicated GPU on the market and stuff. They did have some really good, some really decent budget GPUs that you can like tap your get your feet wet into, especially when it comes to like 1080p 60 FPS gaming or something like that. And it will just it's just gonna be sitting there marinating with some new patches of drivers and stuff. So it will take time. So for people that want to invest into the MSI Claw, you just got to be patient with the system. Wait for more patches to come out. Wait for more developers to fully support more of the Intel Arc side of things, and you'll be fine, if anything. So, but yeah, I just don't really care too much about the MSI Claw, to be perfectly honest with you. I did notice that they had different SKUs and stuff, and like I just don't really care too much about it. So
yeah, the 699 SKU, that's another good point to mention. I don't think it's worth it. So technically speaking, if you're trying to compare like by like, because the 699 SKU is gonna have the Core, was it the Ultra Core or Core Ultra 5 CPU? Okay. Yeah, where the 799 will have the Ultra Core 7 or Core Ultra 7, whatever it is, something Core, something Ultra, and then 7 CPU for $100 more. So you're spending $799 for $800 for the better variant. So that's another thing to consider. Like that's $800 for that. And of course, when you buy Intel, you usually pay a premium And it doesn't always mean it's better, right? AMD typically, like, again, CPUs, AMD subs. I just mentioned the Ryzen 7 5700X that's going to be coming out, X3D. Like that's a huge plus because that's a very great CPU. 3D cache
Oh yeah,
is something that's
100%.
amazing there.
Yeah,
So it's like
absolutely.
yeah, it's something that doesn't always mean better. I guess again, we'll wait and see if I can like calm the urge to buy the ROG Ally and wait. Maybe I'll get it, or if I, get it donated by MSI,
I
MSI.
mean, I would say that Intel used to be the premium back then when AMD was still on their FX processors. Meanwhile,
Mhm.
Intel was already ahead of the game with their own processors.
Yep.
So back then, Intel was considered the premium.
Yeah.
Now, when the Ryzen came out with their first gen, they started to creep up a little bit, and like I do remember some of these headlines a little bit because when AMD first came out with their first gen, Intel was trying to roast them a little bit. They're just saying, oh, AMD their new CPUs are just their CPUs glued together and stuff, and then like it came back and bit them on the ass because like when their newer versions of Ryzen was coming out, we're coming out even more cores, faster speeds. Meanwhile, Intel's still like lacking in cores and stuff. They were trying to rely on the single core performance a lot,
Yeah.
and they were catching a lot of flack. But now I feel like the competition's healthy between the two between AMD and Intel now, and yeah, pretty healthy to me. So there's really no premium option between the two. It's more like if you want to get a Ryzen 9 or you want to get an i9 processor and be done with it, right? So.
Mhm. All right. Let's show of hands. Who has an AMD CPU in their computer right now? Who has an Intel CPU? Oh man, we're split.
That literally proved my point. It literally proved my point. So it doesn't matter which one you get. Listen, maybe Intel will have a slightly higher margin of performance compared to AMD, but you wouldn't even notice the difference, right? Yeah. It's all about what deal you can get from then and there, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
that's what it was for me. It was just Corsair had a crazy good deal for a 4090 that a pre-made 4090 machine, and the Intel i7 13th gen was, or i9, I'm sorry, i9 13th gen processor was it, and I did a lot of reading about it or whatever, and I think they're both fine CPUs or whatever, and I ended up just pulling the trigger on the Intel.
Yeah.
I could only buy mine because it's what was available at the time. COVID.
Yeah, like sort of like I said,
I could only get an 11th gen Intel because that's all that was in stock during COVID.
Intel AMD are practically neck and neck on this at this point. Is no longer how it was back in the days when AMD was on their FX stuff, because it was bad. it was just 9 day difference between the two. But now it's just even.
So, there's not a lot of games that are CPU heavy anyway, so most of them are all GPU now.
Yeah. It's funny, to be fair. It just reminds me, like, last year, I think Ash, you were already doing the podcast with us. You remember my motherboard died on me, and I did not know what happened. It was, and because I had upgraded, and did I upgrade at that time? I think I already had upgraded, and I had put the Ryzen 5 5600 because I upgraded CPU because I needed it because we were struggling to play like Call of Duty. But then my motherboard died, and that's when I bought the MSI motherboard. And I had to buy more
honestly, I think you just had bad luck with parts. I think that's what it was.
It was an ASRock motherboard that I had before that, and then I went back to the MSI motherboard, and so far this thing runs better overall. I like it. I don't know what happened to that motherboard. To this day, I wonder what happened, because that motherboard worked fine. I had that since 2019, and then it just out of nowhere, I just started getting error codes, and it was just the weirdest thing ever. Because like I had not turned it on, and I just turned it on at one point, and it did that. So
it could be a lot of different things. Honestly, I sometimes I usually just blame it on memory sometimes, because memory can be defective too. It's just a lot of things you have to like just cross out.
I tried the RAM, and it wasn't. I tried different RAM, and that didn't fix that.
Yeah.
All right, but that brings us to the end of the podcast, and we have a quick game to play. So, Fan, you want to explain the rules?
Yes. We're basically, I'm just going to show you an image, and it's going to be game related, whether it's a character or something like that. It's gonna be very pixelated, and then we're just going to reduce the level of pixelation, several degrees, and see if you guys can guess what it is. Whoever can guess it,
Are we doing buzzers?
sooner. We could. We don't necessarily have to. My rules for it is like once you guess, if you guess wrong, you're out. You can't guess again, so you're completely knocked out.
Yeah, that's fast.
And then if let's say everybody gets knocked out, or if 2 people get knocked out, then you only can get 1 level less in pixelation to make your final guess. All right. So like if Ash guesses, he gets knocked out. If James guesses and he get knocked out, then Brian, I can only reduce the image by 1 extra level, and then you have to make your final guess. If that makes sense. Like you can't make me go all the way down to 0.
Oh, okay. Got it. Gotta be strategic in your guesses then.
Yeah. So let me see if I've got one.
I guess fans are gonna share a screen, and then you're gonna you're gonna like watch the screen yourself, James, then switch it to like a different scene so that way the audience can see it too.
Yeah, well, if you share the screen, it should fix itself on there, so it should be good. Yeah, and I have some background
I wonder how
music
mean should I
playing
be
while we do this.
Because I've got a couple, and the ones that if I do pick it, I think Ash unfortunately will get it right away. So
just do it.
For some odd reason, I already knew what the character's going to be because
Just do it. Just do it.
Actually, I think everyone might actually be equal standing on this one. So, okay, all right. Let me share my screen. And...
Okay.
There we go.
As clipping enable. Oh, I forgot the whole clips thing.
All right, can we start right now?
Yeah. So just go ahead and.
It's Sonic.
Is that what you're guessing?
Yeah, I'm guessing. Is it Sonic?
Oh wow.
No, it's not. James.
Oh, no.
Oh wow. You see, I can see why you said that, James.
No.
Oh my god. Oh.
All right. So, do you guys both want to pass, and I go one level less?
I'm a pass.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
There you go. So again,
I'll
you guys.
say-
I know.
Ash, what is it?
It's Persona 3 Portable.
Oh,
Let's go!
Got it.
I wouldn't have gotten that.
I gotten that so quickly because of Minako, the female protagonist. I got it so quick. Oh my god!
Oh, man.
Let's go!
it's funny. I saw that too, right? Where when you did that, I was like, oh, that looks like both of the protagonists together.
Oh man, that was exhilarating.
All right, Ash with 1 point.
All right. So I'm about to stop sharing my screen here real quick so I can go to the next one. We'll do. How many do you want to do?
Like 4 more?
Okay.
Yeah, we could do 4 more. Whatever
It
Brian
depends how
says.
much time we got left. So
Yeah. Okay.
Will's gonna wait for you to come back.
jeez, I get freaking super competitive in this stuff, man.
All right.
Damn.
Yeah, I have no clue.
It's always the pictures.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Pass.
Pass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pass.
Damn. That's not helping.
Go ahead.
Pass.
Same
Okay.
here. I have no clue what that is.
All right. Here's.
Still not helping.
Did you change it?
It looks like
Yeah.
it looks like it's flipping me off.
It looks the
It's
same.
slowly pixelating. Yeah. It's the pixelation's getting smaller. So.
Okay.
It's just
Okay.
how.
Okay.
Okay.
Everyone passes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
pass.
we're passing. Yeah. Oh my god. Wait. No. I'm not confident in this one. Oh
I
my
have
god.
no clue. It looks like
Pass.
yeah.
Pass. Okay. Pass. All right.
Pass. Yeah.
Cloud.
Oh, I know.
Oh,
Damn. I was.
Brian called it out. He said it right away.
Oh, we're not raising hands or anything. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, we just gotta say it. You just gotta say it. Oh my god. I'm acting like I'm in class, bro. What the hell's wrong with me?
This is cutthroat, man. Come on.
I saw that from before. I was like, oh, it looks like a guy with blonde hair. Like, I was like, no, it can't be Cloud. Like,
should have called it, man. You know, if you think, you just gotta, if you think you got it, sometimes you just gotta call it. All right, this one might actually be a little bit harder. I don't know if anyone's actually played this game, so we'll see.
We'll see. Depends how niche is the JRPG for me. Let's see what happens.
It's definitely not JRPG.
Damn.
Okay.
So many colors. Pass.
Okay. Pass. You gonna pass it, James?
Yeah,
right.
I pass.
All right.
Pass again.
Pass. Okay.
I definitely pass, because I have no clue what that is.
Okay.
That and more colors.
Right. Okay. This one might be a tough one.
For some reason,
Is it Conquer?
You got it.
Wow! Yes, that's why. That's why. Man, I was so hesitant on that one, bro. I was like, I feel like I know that one.
You got it better than me. I was thinking it's Roy.
Really?
Yeah.
Your Fire Emblem brain is on full effect right now.
Yeah, it is. But then at the same time, I was thinking, it's like, he would not say that, because he's like,
I feel disappointed. I feel disappointed, bro. I played this game. I love this game a lot.
Yeah, I played this game a long time when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Just guess the Great Mighty Pooh for the next one, no matter what.
I am the Great Mighty Pooh, and I will throw my shit at you. That's one of my favorite boss fights.
Here's the next one.
Pass.
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 All right.
Pass.
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 What the? Oh.
Pass.
Pass.
Link. Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
Oh, he even got the game.
That's Link?
Yeah.
That's
Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, fair. Got it. I was like,
man,
damn, what
Brian
the hell?
has 3, Ash has 1, I have
One.
0.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
That's
Jeez.
it. I mean, I might have one more if you want to go for just 5 altogether.
Let's do one more.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
One more.
All right.
I gotta get one more in there, man.
I need to get
God
1
dang.
point.
I got the game on the second round, bro. Like, come on.
All right.
What the frick?
Yeah, no, this one's a fun one.
Yeah, pass.
All right.
Pass. Wait, no.
Is that an Ape Escape monkey?
Is that your guess? That's not. So you're out.
Okay, all right, I'm out. I still won. So it's like,
I know what it is.
What
I know what it is. It's Jack and Dexter.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about. Oh my! I'm always hesitant.
I got my 1 point. I got 1 point. Yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh man.
so 3, 2, 1, right?
Yeah.
3-1-1.
3-1-1. Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Oh, 3, 1, 1. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nah, I never got a second point. So.
Oh man, I can't believe that first
That's
one.
fun.
Yeah, was fun. Yeah. It's like we'll try to put this back into the podcast. Like, we also have video game 20 questions that we can always bring back too, that we haven't done in a while. We haven't done it with you yet, Brian. I don't think so. Have we?
No.
No. Okay.
No, not yet.
Yeah, it's another
And you
thing.
and I got to do an OST matchup too.
Yes, we do. We got to talk about when we're gonna do that final matchup. And then, of course, get new challengers to come in as well. We do have 2 new challengers that already on in the queue to go ahead and do that. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. But thanks for watching, everyone. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Trying to hit 600 subscribers by the end of the month. We just need 8 more subscribers, and hopefully I'm trying to do 1,000 subscribers by March. So definitely every little bit does help out for sure. Share the channel. Oh, that does help out the most, is just sharing the channel. Also follow on Twitch. We do stream, of course, simultaneously on both YouTube and Twitch. I am still trying to work on, I just got to get the time to go ahead and start uploading everything to, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and everything. So I'm hoping this week, because it's a 3-day weekend for me. My weekend starting tomorrow. So I'm hoping to get that up and we can start doing that. I'll start with the latest episodes and slowly I'll bring back the older episodes and put them into the queue for the podcast. So yeah, Fan, where can you catch you at?
You can catch me on Twitch or YouTube at Phaneckswhy.
What about you, Bryant?
You can catch me at X, formerly known as Twitter, at red_so_deep.
What about you, Ash?
You can catch me at Master Storm on YouTube and stuff. So I haven't uploaded anything for like 8 months. So I don't know if you want to go on there, but yeah.
Yep, and as always, you can catch me here. Don't forget to check out the What's That OST episode 2 that came out. A lot of fun there. And also check out my MSI video that I have up. If you want to know a lot more about the MSI Claw, I do have a video on there, just giving my thoughts on what I feel. Some of it's kind of like what we talked about on the podcast, but there's a lot more other information I go over in that video. Thanks for watching. My name is James, and we'll catch you guys next time.